Welcome back into the Rounding Third podcast. I'm Nick. We have Harrison and Sean with us again tonight. How we doing, fellas?
What's up, boys?
Good. How we doing, boys?
Doing pretty well. We got a lot of stuff to get into, but first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can also follow on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Tonight, leading off, Framber Valdez, 7 no-hit innings pulled with 98 pitches. I know the Astros are, the best team in baseball since the end of April. I mean, their record, we knew that they were coming up. They weren't going to be in the basement for long. It's the Houston Astros. Was this to probably save him for the postseason, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, no hitters now are. I don't know if they have kind of the oomph that they used to have as far as it's a no hitter. No hitters are no hitters. They're awesome, but I think with the influx of analytics now, it's what's more does Framber Valdez doesn't have anything to prove. Yeah. If you're do we need Framber Valdez to complete a no-hitter to prove the dominance, to show the dominance? I think if you're the Astros, you're looking at this being this guy's been one of the better pitchers in baseball for a couple of years now, right? I mean, we've been talking about this guy for a couple of years now, whether it's the just dominant stuff, it's the quality start. What was it? However many consecutive quality starts he had was insane. Yeah. Was that last year, 2 years ago, whatever that was, right? This guy is it. You don't really need much. I think it's a smart play. I mean, I think unless he comes to the dugout and he's like, I want it. I want the no-hitter, then you let him have it. I mean, you let him go do it. But I mean, if he's there going, if that's what's best for the team, it's what's best for the team, which seemingly he seems like that kind of guy. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. 98 through 7 too is probably, if he wants it, that's 2 more innings. He averages, let's say 10, 12 pitches an inning. Now you're getting up to 120, 125.
Right.
It's not, at that point, it's not worth it. If he's down around 85, 90 pitches, then it's
if he's under 90, he's probably going minimum 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
You send him for the 8th.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think too, you look at that game, and he came out of the game, it was a 1-0 game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's 1-0 after 7. I think they're looking at it going, it's a tight game. He's at 98 pitches. We feel good about our bullpen. Granted, the bullpen blew it and ended up coming back to win it in the 9th. But I think it's a combination of, you're late in the season, maybe you don't push him, but also the fact that it was a close game. You need to win these games. You're playing the Royals. That's a team you got to be able to beat. It's one of those things where I think if you're the manager, you're looking at it going, I can push for the no-hitter, but I really got to get the win tonight. And I think you have to manage accordingly. And in a 1-0 game with their lineup turning over and a lot of things at play, you got to go to the bullpen in that case, I think, and see if you can get the win.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. All right. We are going to move on to Corbin Carroll is back. This kid has been absolutely insane the last couple of weeks. 6 homers last 19 games, including an inside the park home run. That whole Dodgers Diamondback series will break down in the next segment here. But I mean, Corbin Carroll through July 12th had only hit 3 home runs. Since July 12th, he's at 16. His hard hit rate has increased by almost 15 points. His barrel rate is up a significant amount. Slugging percentage, all of that stuff. So he seems like he has fixed his swing. And from all talks around the Diamondbacks, he has worked his ass off to get to this point. And it's good for the Diamondbacks. It's good for Major League Baseball to see Corbin Carroll back because this kid is electric when he is on. And it was at a time that the Diamondbacks needed it with all these injuries with Marte and Walker. Gurriel got hurt last night. I don't know the status on him. But so, I mean, you need these guys to come back, but Corbin Carroll is back to his form last year. So, I mean, it's great to see for them.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the year. I mean, it's that team's really good. It's a talented team. Obviously, it's more talented when they're fully healthy, but that team goes as he goes. And he was just swinging and missing just too much at the beginning of the year, and he was obviously struggling. He was struggling. The team was struggling. He just putting the bat in the ball, and good things happen when Corbin Carroll puts the bat on the ball. I mean, he ignites that entire offense. It really is insane to when he's kind of going good to tune in and watch him every night, because he is electric. He's electric.
Yeah, and it's no surprise that the two best teams since July 1st are the Royals and the Diamondbacks. And the Royals, except for the last few days where it's been a little rough for them, Bobby Witt was basically a one-man wrecking crew. And for the Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll's been similar. He's been absolutely red hot. It's no surprise that those two teams have picked up a lot of ground because they've had their two key players absolutely white hot for this stretch. And the Diamondbacks go where Corbin Carroll goes. When he was struggling, they were struggling. When he's playing well, they're playing well. He is such a spark plug for that lineup in terms of just getting on base, creating havoc on the bases. He also has some pop, extra base hits. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. And when he's not getting on base and he's not doing well, that offense doesn't run like it should.
No. So let's get into this Dodgers Diamondbacks series. If you did not see any of these games, it is worth going back if you have MLB TV to go back and watch the Friday and Saturday games. Those were unbelievable. There was I think it was 8 runs between the two of them scored in the first inning, and then I don't know. It was nuts. And the same thing happened on Saturday. Dodgers ended up coming back and winning 10-9 on Friday. Dodgers won again 8-6 on Saturday. Diamondbacks blew them out yesterday, but then Dodgers went 11-6 today. But the entire series was insane. Kershaw then gives up a bomb to Corbin Carroll and is immediately in the second inning and is immediately taken out of the game. Now, he was diagnosed with a bone spur in his left big toe. I'm not saying that he didn't get hurt, but the timing on it was weird for me. It was almost like, hey buddy, we're old. Let's just put you on the shelf for now. That was my immediate reaction. Was because he didn't look hurt on the mound, but the trainer comes out and was like, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, I thought if anything, he had whiplash the way that ball left the yard, but with the toe, I guess.
Yeah, and in the second inning of a game where the Dodgers needed a fairly long start because they went through the bullpen in game 1, I was like, man, this is big. And
that is what leads me to believe he really was hurt. I know the timing is tough, but it's because you kind of needed some depth in length from the starter in that particular game. There's got to be a legitimate injury there for you to go get a guy in the second inning.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not
absolutely.
that's not like a, hey man, you're an old dude that made a bad pitch and this guy hit it to the moon. We're going to take you out. There had to have been a legitimate injury because they absolutely needed depth in that particular game.
And then you brought in Joe Kelly, who's always a circus unto himself and makes for a really fun outing.
And then they put him on
Joe Kelly. I will always love Joe Kelly.
Then they put him on the IL right after too with shoulder inflammation.
Well, he looked like he was out of sorts there in the second inning that he came out. The first inning was good, and then he couldn't find the strike zone. He couldn't get a feel for anything, and I think he had a hit batter, a couple of walks. It was sloppy, really sloppy.
Yeah, but that whole
the Joe Kelly experience.
It is. The guy's got crazy good stuff, but he doesn't know where it's going half the time.
Yeah. Love it. Chaos.
Joe Kelly Fight Club.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole series was really fun to watch. Shohei went deep a couple times. He's got 3 or 4 stolen bases, so 50-50 season is
he
still
stole
within
3
today.
He just stole 3 today, right?
Yeah, I think so. So
he's at 46 now.
Yeah, so 44 and 46, I think he's at. So he needs 6 homers, 4 steals. I think he's got that in him.
Yeah, he's at 44 and 46 as of today.
Offensive flag.
Absolutely insane. But all right, let's get over to the White Sox. Our White Sox update.
Oh God!
I saw a stat this week. They have been swept 20 times in a 3-game series this season. Their current losing streak is at 11. So they are at 108 total losses.
I mean, that had 20 sweeps that has to be, if not a record. I mean, it's got to be close to a record, right?
God, I hope.
Yeah.
That's pretty atrocious to get swept 20 times.
That's so many sweeps.
Yeah, I don't know. So here we go. Top 5 total sweeps in one season. New York Mets during 1962, 23 times.
Oh,
San Diego Padres during the 1969 season, 22 times. Detroit Tigers in 2003, 21 times. And Philadelphia Phillies during 1961, 20 times. So that's where the White Sox sit.
jeez.
And so the record is the Mets with 23.
23. And the
how many
White Sox
series are left?
Yeah, the White Sox are on pace for that for sure.
You figure they've probably got 8 or 9 series left, right? They got just under 30 games. So you figured 9, probably 9-ish series left.
How many 3 games, right? It depends on how many 4s are in there, but yeah.
I mean, the law of baseball averages says that's impossible. Like, baseball can be a fluky game.
It is a fluky game. Not it can
right.
be. It is a fluky game.
Right. And
it's why you play series, dude. It's why you play series.
Right.
It's a game that lends itself to like, hey, we have a good matchup. We're going to win this one. That's why you play series. And the fact that they just never have good enough matchups to win in 20 series is insane.
Well, that ball that Andrew Vaughn hit for a walk-off that Travis Janikowski brought back, my God, that was one of the best catches of the season. He climbs the wall, reaches over, says, sorry, White Sox, you're not winning this game either. Like, that's terrible, man.
And that ball's like so clearly gone. Like, I mean, he was well over the wall when he caught it.
Yeah.
And that's just the season. That's when you're that bad. That's the kind of season you have when you get a walk-off taken away. And then I'm pretty sure they lost it the following inning.
Yeah.
That's absolutely brutal. Baseball gods clearly hate you when that happens.
Yeah, it's bad, man. I got nothing else. I don't even know where. We've talked about this a few weeks ago. Like, where did the White Sox even begin to try to right the ship? If there's even a ship left to right. Like, I mean, what did they do?
Yeah, so they are currently on pace to lose 126 games at 31-108. That would make them 6 games worse than the worst team of all time. Like, it's not like it's close. Like, they're on pace to be 6 games worse than the worst team of all time. And there's no, you've lost 11 in a row. You're on another double-digit losing streak. You've lost 11 straight. You're a negative 300. There's nowhere to go. There's no minor league full of studs. There's no players that are going to be signing contracts to come there. Like, this ball club's basically become like the island of misfit toys. You're not going to attract superstars to come there. You've got nobody in the minor leagues coming. Like, this is what they are. This is what they're going to be for a little while. This is not like we'll be good again in a couple of years. Like, this is a multi-year turnaround to get back to some semblance of good baseball.
Yeah. They need to get like a manager that's like old school, been there, done that, like a Tony La Russa type of manager to come in and change the culture in Chicago. That's what they need, and then
that's what the Rangers did with Bochy.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So like maybe like a Tony La Russa type of guy
that stays awake.
Chicago. That'll change all the things.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's going to be tough going for them for quite a while. I don't see that organization turning it around anytime soon.
No, the cupboard is bare, and there's nobody coming to help them.
You have to hope for a stretch like the Orioles, where you compile like 5 or 6 years of first round draft picks, like high first round draft picks, develop them and get them to the show that way. Because like you said, there's no trade pieces. Like how
The problem is you got to hit on the picks. Hit on the picks, and even the
They do.
Orioles were never
Right.
this bad, but they hit on the picks. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You got to hit on the
Scouting.
picks.
Yeah. 1,000% agree.
All right, let's talk about a good team.
So hang on. So the White Sox are currently ranked as the 11th ish farm system. But they've been in the last 12 months, they've been ranked as low as 20. They have 4 guys of note, two pitchers, a shortstop, and a catcher.
Yeah, Montgomery, right? Colton Montgomery.
Yeah, Colson Montgomery. Yeah, he's really the only. He's the guy that kind of put them back on. They went from 20th to 11th when they identified his talent. But again, like these are guys that are low minor leagues that are years away.
Yeah. Well, Montgomery's in AAA Charlotte. I saw him when I went over to see Jackson Holiday and Kierstead there before they got called up. But so I know he's there. But otherwise than that Charlotte Knights team is not anything to write home about.
No, and the other guys they rank highly are AA or lower.
Yeah. So.
But like one pitcher is not going to change things for you. Like you've got to get players that want to come there.
Yeah.
Reinsdorf isn't going to spend the money. Nobody's going to sign to play there. I mean, why would you go there to be the only guy that's going to do anything on a team that's terrible?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the guys that they did sign have been absolute flops. You look at that Benintendi contract, and that kind of starts the snowball rolling, right? Like you get a guy that comes in and just flops, and you're like, well, we just spent all this money on this guy, and it's not helping our team. Like, now what? Now we're kind of stuck with this long contract, a lot of money. We don't have any more to spend. What do we do? We can't trade him away because his contract's too big. Like, what do we do?
No, and the White Sox, I mean, to give the White Sox some credit, they have made some moves. Like they've tried to make some, like this in the Sale deal, they brought all those prospects back from the Red Sox. Moncada really never worked out. Kopech finally did, but it took years and a couple of surgeries. And then they just traded him off this year because they were so bad.
Let's be honest. Kopech is not what he was supposed to be.
No, he was a top line starter.
Right. It's worked out in the sense of like they found a role for him, and he's been individually, he's been fine in the role, but that's not what they were supposed to get back.
No, it was not. It was not. And so they've made some moves, they've signed some guys, and they just, like Sean said, you got to hit on the draft picks, but you got to hit on the signings and the trades, and they have yet to hit on anything. Like they've, it's kind of like they've thrown a bunch of stuff at the wall and nothing has stuck. So you got to clean up the wall and start over because they got nothing to show for it. They've been busy for 3 years building a team that's maybe may go down as the worst ever. It's not a good spot to be in. May go down as the worst ever. They've still got time. I mean, in my mind, they're the worst team ever, and I think the record will prove it out. But I mean, I guess they could for like 2 weeks not suck and end up
far and away team we've ever seen. In our lifetime, it's not even close. And we've seen some bad Tigers teams, some bad Royals teams, some bad Orioles teams, some bad Padres teams. This is far and away the worst.
Yeah, it's abysmal. Abysmal.
Some bad Astros, but this is far and away the worst.
Yeah. The Chicago White Sox or the 0-16 Detroit Lions?
White Sox.
Yes.
Do you know how bad you have to be, dude, for this extended period of time?
Yeah. 162 games and to lose.
126. As bad as the Detroit Lions were, I know no one is listening for football talk. As bad as the Lions were, it's not close. It's not close. It's the White Sox by a wide margin.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Yeah, I mean, because you're in a game where a one pitch or a bad bounce can get you a win. So you're gonna get some. But I
think the 0-16 Lions team might beat the White Sox team at baseball. That's how bad this White Sox team is.
Okay, fair. It's fair.
And for a second, not that it says a lot, but Garrett Crochet is 6-10 with a 3.61 ERA. What if he's not on the roster? He's got 6 wins. There's probably 8 or 9 wins probably attributable to his starts. I mean, this could be a team that's 9 or 10 games even worse than they are now, if not for Garrett Crochet kind of coming out of nowhere.
It's hard to think about, but
it's bad. It's bad all around.
Yeah. All right, let's switch to a team that's actually doing well right now. So the Chicago Cubs are on a heater the last 10. They've scored 99 runs in the last 10 games. However, is it too little, too late for the Chicago Cubs? What are your thoughts?
As far as the postseason?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you're 3 games back with what 20 some odd left to play. I mean, you've got to be exceptional the remainder of the month to catch the Braves or the Mets, whoever's going to end up in that spot when the tonight's over. But I mean, 3 games doesn't seem like a lot, but in the span of 27, 28 games,
right.
It feels like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they make the playoffs either. Is there a chance? Well, yeah, of course. They're only 3 games out, but I don't know what their schedule is coming up. But I don't see the Braves and or the Mets falling out of that spot there.
Yeah, so the Cubs have 25 games left. So if the Braves go 500, so I guess call it 13-12, they've got to go 16-9. The rest they've got to go 16-9 to tie. You're talking 17-8 to take the lead. If they go 500, so you got to play basically. We said this last week too. You got to play basically 700 baseball the rest of the way through, and hope the teams ahead of you play 500
with help. Right, with help.
Like it's a pretty daunting task right now. If the Braves play like they have and they win 15 of their next 25, you've got to win. You've got to go 19-6 the rest of the way. Like it's just a tie, so you got to go 20-5 to earn a playoff spot. The Cubs have to play out of their minds for the next month to have a shot.
I mean, 9-1 in the last 10, definitely.
Yeah, you got to do that
in the right direction.
And they're scoring runs. I mean, they're scoring runs. But baseball is the ultimate equalizer game. I mean, it's like you score 99 runs in the last 10 games. I mean, you're on a heater offensively. Those bats dry up just a little bit, and now you're not winning at a 70% clip.
Yeah.
It's just such a lot to ask in such a short period of time.
It is.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It really is. Yeah.
The margin for error for the Cubs right now is so small.
I hope they continue to play baseball like this. I hope they do, because it's going to make it interesting, because that puts pressure on the Mets. It puts pressure on the Braves. It puts pressure on those teams ahead of them, rather than just like, we can coast to a 500, 13-13, 13-12, 12-12, whatever, on out. It puts pressure on them to win. So I hope it does, and I hope they all win. I hope it's chaos, but I just don't see it happening. I think it's a lot to ask.
No, I'm with Sean. I'd love to see the Cubs do this, because really outside of the Mets, nobody's still in it. And this was the race that we thought was going to be really great in September. And then the Cardinals fell off, the Reds fell off, the Giants fell off. And the Cubs are the only team that's really kind of left making a run at it, other than the Mets, who are a game out and potentially, could be right on the doorstep after tonight. It'd be nice to have a second team in there, because right now this race that we thought was going to be so exciting to the end is not quite as exciting as we hope, because you really only have one team knocking on the door.
Yeah.
But you're asking the Cubs to basically play, 800, 850 baseball to get in the playoffs, which for a week you can do. For a month, that's hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Speaking of races and stuff like that AL Central, like at the beginning of the year, who would have thought we would have had 3 potentially AL Central teams in the playoffs? None of us really saw that coming. I mean, did we expect the Royals to be a little bit better? Yes.
Well,
did we
Harrison
expect
picked them to win the division, so give him credit there. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I picked them in the playoffs, but I didn't expect them, to fight for the division here. I picked the Twins because they've been there the last 20 some odd years, but
they've been there forever, it seems.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a race. I mean, to get in, I mean, the Twins are 4 back from the Guardians. Royals have been a 5-game skid, so they're struggling a little bit right now.
After today, they've lost 6 in a row.
Yeah, so kind of tough there. But I mean, wild card standings right now, you got the Guardians in, and you got the Twins and the Royals are in. So Yankees, Guardians, Astros are in the playoff spots right now, and you got the Orioles, Twins, and Royals in your wild card spot. I never would have thought we would have had those 3 teams in there for sure.
Yeah, no. If you're thinking 3 teams, you're thinking the East would have had 3 teams in. Definitely the AL Central, and this race has been awesome. As of 5 days ago, the Royals were basically tied with the Guardians, and now they've lost a few in a row and they've fallen back. But this is just going. It's a heavyweight fight. It's back and forth. Somebody gets hot for a week, closes some ground, they fall back. But these three teams play really good baseball. Unfortunately, the Royals are a little hurt right now, losing Pasquatch. That definitely leaves a hole in the lineup. They picked up guys like Tommy Pham and Gurriel, who are placeholders, but they're not Pasquantino. So you've got injuries at the wrong time. Better now than at the end of September when you go into the playoffs limping. But this is a really, really good race. AL East is a 2-horse race, no surprise there. AL Central is a 3-horse race. That's a bit of a surprise. And the AL West is what it's been. It's the Astros and everybody else.
Yeah. And that's a division where, like, if there's a chance for 3 teams to come out of a division, like AL East is always, but you look at the Rangers' success last year, you got the Mariners that had some success last year, and then, the Astros, which I know that first month we were talking about, like what is wrong with the Astros?
Preseason. It's preseason in April for them.
It really is.
It really is, because it's such a long season. That team is just too good, too seasoned, too experienced. Like, at no point at all in April or May did any of us be like, "Oh, Astros are in trouble."
No, week after week we're like, they're coming. Don't worry, they're going to be there.
They're just too good. They're too good. And I'm sorry. What's their record, Nick? You had it earlier in the show. What was their record since like the end of April or end of?
I don't have their record, but they're the best team in baseball.
Best team. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, that number one doesn't surprise anybody. Number two, the rest of the American League for 3 months has been shitting in their pants. No one wants to play that team in the postseason.
No, they woke up.
No
That's
one
a
wants
scary
to play
team.
that team.
Yeah.
So good.
And there was a point there, like in like July, where we were like, we feel like we're broken record saying that they're going to be there, they're going to get there, but like it started to feel like, are they really going to get there? Like they were showing signs, and then all of a sudden it all came together, and they blew up and took over. And the Mariners have fallen apart, proving that their Achilles heel, as we said it was the offense. They can't score runs. But I got a question for you guys. So Jacob deGrom had his 3rd rehab start, felt good, looked good. What are the Rangers going to do with him this year? Are they going to bring him up for a couple of starts end of the season just to get something under his belt, or do you just say forget it and shut him down and call it a season? Like, what do you do with deGrom? Because do you want to waste bullets in September when you're not in it, or like what do you do?
I don't.
You need to see him.
Has he ever pitched in September? I don't know. Like, do you wait until next year and then use his bullets up in April and May when it doesn't matter? Like, I hate that I'm talking about Jacob deGrom in this capacity, because when that dude is healthy, he's I would say the best pitcher in baseball. His talent is out of control.
Yeah, it's so good.
But like, he can't stay on the field. So I don't know. When do you use him? I don't know. Maybe you bring him up for a start and a starter too, like you said. But I mean, the Rangers are below 500. They're stinking it up. I don't know if you bring him up. I say you just let him rehab, let him stretch out in minor leagues, and try again in spring training.
What do you think, Sean?
I don't know. I mean, bullets are bullets, right? I mean, if he's throwing in the minors, I mean, what is he? Minor work is what for him? I mean, it's not. He doesn't. Yeah. He's not working on pitches.
No,
he's
it's a warm up.
Right? He's not down there to learn how to work out of 3-1 counts. I mean, like what other than just throwing pitches? Why is he down there? Like, so to me, if he's gonna throw, then you bring him up. Like, if he's good enough to get up there and throw, then he throws at the major league level. That's how I see it. Because unless you're shutting him down completely, pitching is pitching. Bullets are bullets. It's like, it's not like there's no wear and tear on the arm in the minors. Like, that's not how that works, right? So
right.
To me, with if he's ready to throw, he's ready to throw. If he's ready to face legitimate at bats in pitch, not just throw bullpens and whatnot, and ready to pitch, then he pitches at the major league level. That's how I see it. He's got nothing to prove. He's not working on anything. He's not working on pitches.
Yeah, I think
those 3 starts, he only went 2 innings, right? So like he's not even like remotely stretched.
Yeah, no,
out.
he's just
so that's fine. So
Yep.
he's down there. But I'm saying like when you're asking like what do you do when he's ready? Do you leave him down there or do you bring like to me when he's ready, he comes up and pitches. Whether you're out of it or not. To me, that's
I think there's
that's
two
how I
schools of
handle
thought
it.
with him. There's a school that says, he's got Mormon back up, he's proven he can throw. Okay, shut him down. Season's over. We don't need to see anything. Let's start thinking about next year. The other school of thought is bring him up, let him get 2 or 3 starts under his belt. Let's see what this team would actually look like healthy for September and determine kind of where we need to take this thing this winter heading into next year. Is this almost like a preview of next year? And do you use the next few weeks to get a sense of where you're at? I feel like a guy like him, you've got to bring him up and pitch him. You've got to see him. You've got to see him pitch. The fans need to see him back. I think that's a big deal to the fans to show the fact that, hey, he's back. He's healthy. He looks good. Like we're on the road. This wasn't our year, but come see us next year.
And I think he needs to pitch on a major league mound.
Yeah.
I think he needs to. As much as the fans need to see him, his teammates need to see him, he needs to see himself on a major league mound. I think that mentally and emotionally and all that, I think that goes a long way.
I mean, I also hate to say that money comes into it, but you're paying this guy $40 million a year to pitch in the minor leagues. I don't know if that sits well with me. That's me personally, but
I guess that's on the list. But it's not a high up there. But
right, it's not the factor, but it's one of the factors. Like, hey, we got $40 million a year sitting in this guy, pitching in the minors. Like, we need to get him up here. But at the same time, you can't rush him either because then he'll just be right back down there on the shelf. So,
right.
Yeah, I do think it's important that he makes some starts and he's seen, and it's also for his confidence that the arm is good. There's also that mental component of, I think John Smoltz said it best, like after the surgery, like there's the fear of, am I going to get hurt again? Can I still do this? And it takes a few starts to get over the fact that, my arm's not going to fall off. I'm going to be okay. And this is a chance to kind of knock the rust off. Let him do it now, go into the offseason feeling good and build for next year.
Yeah. All right. Darren Baker for the Nationals records his first hit. And this is significant because he's Dusty Baker's son. And yes, this is the kid that JT Snow rescued from getting absolutely creamed at home plate back in the day.
And rescued is the right word.
Yeah.
Rescued is the right word.
Do you guys feel old yet or what? This kid came up and played in his first Major League Baseball game. This little 5-year-old kid running out to grab the bat.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I put the clip in the chat. ESPN aired it again yesterday when he got called up, just as a reminder of the play. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Him getting saved at home plate. It was talked about for a while in that game, and then he had a great relationship with Barry Bonds. He was often kind of out and around, like he was a part of that team. Very much a part of that team, and it's kind of cool to see a kid like that get called up and now be playing.
Yeah. But he's the sole reason why bat boys have to be a certain age now because of that incident.
Dude, it's a funny clip now because like nobody got hurt and everything's okay. That was very close to not being a funny clip.
Oh, that would have been so bad.
Like very close. I mean, JT Snow, and I'm sure it was talked about when it happened. I mean, I was like, 12, like when the whole thing went down. So I don't really remember it, but I'm sure at the time it was talked about. But
yeah, you were the bat boy.
That's hero. Yeah, that's hero mode, dude. That's hero mode. To be able to like awareness enough to like grab that kid. That dude coming around third, coming home was motoring. Play at the plate. I mean, could have been a major, major disaster.
Yeah, you see the catcher setting up for the throw coming in too. I mean, it could have been
major disaster.
Real bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a couple of the moments in the World Series where he's like running to get a bat during a play and they're like waving him off. At one point, like Barry Bonds pulled him back to the on deck circle because he was trying to run out and pick up a bat. Like it was kind of a disaster, kind of a nightmare to Sean's point. Like this could have been really bad for this kid. There are a couple other situations that also could have been bad. And that's why, Kirk Gibson broke pitching. Darren Baker broke the rules around bat boys. But it's cool to see him up, and he actually got a hit in his first MLB at bat, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Did you say Kirk Gibson? Or did you say Bob Gibson?
Yeah, He meant to say Bob Gibson.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry. No,
I was going to say, we're going to gloss over that one.
I've done that a few times now. I've been like, and Kirk Gibson. No, wrong Gibson.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Whatever. All right, let's switch over to
it was
Brewers.
Bob Gibson hit the home run for the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do that with those two.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It is what it is. It's fine. All right, let's switch over to the Brewers here that are running away with the NL Central. They're pretty much in. I think they're what 7 up, 7.5 up. I think
9.5 up now on the Cubs.
Oh, just kidding. 9.5.
Yeah.
All right. So Willie Adames is obviously a huge part of this in their offense. He ties Ken Griffey Jr. for the most 3-run homers in a season with 13.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of 3-run jacks. And then also part of that success is my rookie of the year pick. He's not going to get it because I think Jackson Merrill is going to take it in the NL with the stretch that he's been going on. But he's 2 homers shy away from 2020 before his 21st birthday. And that's significant because no one in Major League history has done a 2020 season or had a 2020 season before their 21st birthday. I got to see this kid play for the Carolina Mudcats down here in Single A, right outside of Raleigh. And I actually knew the Carolina Mudcats hitting coach. And I got to talk to him before the game. And he told me about Jackson Churio before everybody even know. I think I even brought him up to you guys after I went to that game. And you could tell even in Single A that this kid was going to be a stud and a star.
Yes. He's talented.
And yeah, he's very good, fast, great outfielder, good with a stick. Just great all around. But yeah, I never would have thought that no one's had a 2020 season before their 21st birthday, though. That was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, that is surprising.
I don't know, man. 2020 is pretty impressive. And to do it at such a young age, I mean, it's you got to play a whole season for the most part, right? I mean, no one gets 2020 in a half a season. So, I mean, it's the consistency is showing up every day. It's being in the lineup every day. It's making adjustments at the plate. It's getting on enough to have the opportunity to get the stolen bases. I don't know. To be able to do that before your 21st birthday is incredibly impressive. Even if he doesn't actually make the milestone, like to be this close, this young is something.
So my immediate thought when I heard that, I go, Andrew Jones. I was like, Andrew Jones had to have been close.
Close. Yeah. Was he close?
21st, his 1998, he was 21. Oh. He hit 31 and stole 27.
Okay.
So
he was close. I mean, he did
was
it
close.
at 21.
Right. But Jackson Churio's doing it at 20. Like, yeah, crazy.
So it's funny. So that got me thinking before we started the show, and I was kind of looking around. You've got a bunch of guys who are like on the edge of or have actually already hit some of these milestones. So you got a guy like Jose Ramirez who's at 34 and 34, probably not going to reach 40-40, but here's a guy who's going to be 35-35.
I'm shocked that J-Ram has 34 stolen bases, to be completely honest.
I know. He's not necessarily known as a speedster, but so here's a guy who's going to be 35-35. Jaron Duran is now a 2020 guy after a home run the other night. Jazz Chisholm, 2020. Bobby Witt is 2 steals away from 30-30. CJ Abrams is 2 homers away from 2020. You've got Brenton Doyle's a 2020 guy. You've got Lindor, who's a home run and 5 steals away from 30-30. Zach Neto, 2020 guy. You got a fair number of guys who have popped into this category of late. And honestly, like it was usually the stolen bases that held people back because nobody stole bases. Now all of a sudden we're seeing steals like crazy. Stolen bases are now a thing again, and it's awesome.
I love it.
It's completely changed the game.
It has changed the game. So my question is, does that downgrade these 40-40 seasons? Like being able to steal bases at this rate because they've put these rules in. You know what I mean? Like, does it downplay a 40-40 season because of these rule changes?
Like the pitch clock and you can only throw over twice, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Like, does that, because we've seen such an increase in stolen bases due to the rules, does that diminish what a 30-30 or 40-40 season is?
I don't think so.
I've heard.
You think it does?
Well, so I've heard two arguments to this, and I'd love to get your take on them. So the first one, I've heard some people say, well, yeah, clearly, like if Ricky Henderson had a pitch clock, he would have stolen even more bases. Like if you had given these guys, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, a pitch clock, steals would have been off the charts. Okay. Second thing I've heard is that the pitch clock has become the equalizer. Because when Ricky Henderson was stealing 100 bases a year, he wasn't facing guys that threw 98 and catchers that had 1.8 second pop times. Like they're saying that the way the game has changed, it became impossible to steal a base. So now the pitch clock has become the equalizer and made things a little bit, have made things possible that previously weren't. I don't know that I buy either argument, but they're interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's easier to steal bases now? Absolutely. Do I think I could go out and steal 40 bases? No. I don't think
50.
I even have
50 for sure.
But why do you think it's easier? Because the rules you're saying have made it easier?
Yeah. I mean, look at it happened in the Diamondbacks Dodgers series. Corbin Carroll's on first base. They throw over the third time. They don't pick him off, and it's a balk.
Yeah, it's a
so,
balk.
I mean, like,
right.
Yeah, Joe Kelly did that.
Yeah, after you throw over that second time, you can get another extra half step to a step, still be able to get back to the bag, and then just take off.
Shohei stole a base today where the pitch clock hit 1, he took off knowing the pitcher couldn't come over, and he was 3/4 of the way there before the catcher even had it. Like there's games you can play, but a guy like Ricky Henderson got to jump like that anyways because of how well he read the pitcher. So it's hard to say that like completely changes it, but I do agree. Like you now know when the pitcher has to throw. You know how often he can actually come over. You know if he comes over twice, he can't come over again. You could lead halfway there if you want to, because he's got to come get you. Yeah. Like there's definitely some nuances to it.
But that's the scenario you guys are talking about. Like that's only when it's managed poorly that they've already thrown over twice. So pitchers are now, you're not just, I mean, this is only a handful of years ago you would see, let's say, a Jarren Duran is an example. If this was 3 years ago, they would throw over 3, 4, 5 times before the first pitch. So I don't know that it makes it easier. It only makes it easier when they've thrown over twice before, and now you can get that extra lean, that extra half a step, that extra jump. But to Harrison's point, I mean, guys are throwing so much harder. Now the ball's getting to home plate so much quicker. The catchers are so much more in tune with the pop times and getting the ball down to second base. Like I really don't know. I would have to look at it and really kind of dive deeper into it, but I don't know if it diminishes a 30-30 or a 40-40 season. I mean, dude, 30-30 is insane. You swipe 30 bags, you swipe 30 bags.
You go deep 30 times. You go deep 30 times.
Right. Unless like 25 of those are off those balks, which is just not the thing, right? I mean, like 30 swipes is 30 swipes. I don't know. I think we might be reading into this a little bit too much.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think there's definitely parts of the pitch clock that have changed the strategy. Like when a pitcher has to deliver because of the time that's left. Doesn't mean they can't still throw over, but like there's no longer like the standing there and like freezing a runner. Like you've got to do something. So like
that's like changed.
The window's closing, something's got to happen. But I don't think that it necessarily, like to Sean's point, when they've come over twice, yeah, well now you've got them pretty well pegged, and that's really on them for not using it very well. But at the same time, with guys throwing 100 miles an hour and 1.8 second pop times, that we've got a handful of catchers this year that are at a 1.8 or better pop time. That was Johnny Bench and Ivan Rodriguez. Like that was the best ever pop time. Now you got a handful of guys that are at a 1.8. Like the game has just changed, and there's some ways this is working like an equalizer because steals were gone. You think of like the last before the pitch clock, go back 5-6 years, there was 3 guys that would steal like 30 bases a year, and it was gone. It had gone the way of the dinosaurs. People didn't steal bases anymore. They just couldn't, and it wasn't worth the risk because the way the game was played. Now it's a big part of the game, and honestly, it's a more exciting game because there's constant movement. Yeah,
agree. So, all right, I just threw that out there to see if you guys thought it diminished.
It's a fair debate. People are going to bring it up. People are going to look at Shohei's 50-50 and go, well, geez, he had a pitch clock. Like, how many of those steals would he have gotten if he didn't have a pitch clock? Well, okay, maybe we would have gotten 46 of them instead of 50, but
I mean, just like
the guy still stole 50 bases. Let's be serious.
And he's like De La Cruz. He takes 4 strides and he's to the next base. I mean,
my God. He stole the one he stole today. Like, I swear to God, he literally took 3 steps. He was standing on second base.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, All right, we are going to move on to some trivia. So here we go. We got some trivia, and I got a new segment for you guys as well at the back end of trivia. So hope you enjoy this. If you are in the chat and you are watching, you can definitely help these guys.
This is exactly what we were talking about, John.
Absolutely.
I think Moneyball had a major thing to do with the decline in stolen bases.
Yep.
A major thing to do.
Yep.
Yeah, when I say it wasn't worth the risk because of the way the game is played, the 3-run homers, the way the game was played, and potentially losing an out on the bases was not going to happen.
Yep.
It was the opposite of kind of, I don't know if opposite's the right word, but it was, for lack of a better one, let's say opposite of, you see in the movie, right, when Brad Pitt's walking through and he's like kind of getting the whole team to buy in on the Moneyball kind of idea, and he's talking about how like sacrifice bunts are out because you're just handing a team an out. And if someone wants to sacrifice for us, we pick the ball up and we throw it to first because they're giving us an out, right? Like the strategy behind like, well, why are we doing that? What's the point behind doing that? And if we get a guy to second base and they're just going to walk the next guy, well, now we have 2 guys on base. And this is where we come into, well, now we get an extra guy on base for really, we traded an out for a guy on base, which if offensively, it's like, that's worth it. And now you get a guy up, 3-run homer changes the game. That's kind of the idea. Like, I think absolutely Moneyball changed it because, like, to Harrison, to your point, the risk of losing a potential run for trying to swipe a bag when we can get a guy that just hits it over the fence is not worth it.
Right.
100%.
1,000%.
It absolutely changed the game.
And I love the baseball. The pendulum is swinging back the other way. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Are we ready for trivia now?
Let's do it.
Here we go. All right. Which player has the most career hits that never won a batting title post 1900?
Oh, geez.
Most career hits that never won a batting title. Jesus.
Yep. This is a Hall of Famer, obviously. He was on our
infielder, outfielder.
Infielder, DH, played for the Brewers, the Twins, the Blue
Robin
Jays.
Yount.
No.
So, sorry, hit the teams again.
Brewers, Twins, Blue Jays. Played on the World Series Blue Jays teams. He was the second GOAT behind Robin Yount for the Brewers.
Oh man, no, I don't remember who that was.
I don't know.
This is Paul Molitor.
Paul Molitor.
He never won a batting title. Wow.
Never won a batting title. Yep. 3,319 career hits. No batting title.
My dad would be disappointed in me. Big Paul Molitor fan.
So steady. Crazy.
I always forget about Molitor with the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad.
All right. Who has the most career hits for a catcher?
Pudge.
Yes, sir. Pudge Rodriguez, 2,844. So no catcher is in the 3,000 hit club.
Too bad. And give Pudge another season, he would have been there.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot to ask of a catcher. I mean, my goodness.
Absolutely. All right. Who has the most hits in a single season by a catcher, not splitting time at another position?
Oh, is the purple a hint?
It's supposed to be blue. I don't know why.
Oh, it comes out purple. Okay. Well, never mind. I was going to go with the Rockies catcher, but
who has the most hits in a single season by catcher?
So my gut reaction to that is Jason Kendall, but
no, not Kendall.
Blue wouldn't work.
Did we watch him play?
Yes, sir. We did.
Is he still active?
No. Hall of Famer.
Piazza?
Also, yes, Piazza.
Oh, nice.
Yep, 201 hits and 97.
I'm trying to think like blue catchers. I'm like, ugh.
Yep, for the Dodgers.
201. That's a hell of a season for a catcher.
Yeah, pretty damn good. Who has the highest single season batting average for a designated hitter? This one's pretty much right down the middle.
Edgar?
Yeah.
Miggy?
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Edgar
right down the middle. What do you mean? Like, this is actually going to be one where like it is who you think it is?
Yeah. Yep. 356 in 1995.
Because I swear they're never who you think they are.
Right. And we let him off the hook.
Yeah.
All right. Next one we got. Who was the last switch hitter to win a batting title?
Oh.
Carlos Beltran?
Nope.
Oh, that was a good guess.
That's a great guess. Not him.
Thank you.
Is this a Met or an Oriole?
A Met.
Switch hitting Met.
Shortstop.
Lindor?
Nope.
No,
Before Lindor.
Reyes?
Oh, Reyes. Jose Reyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
337, 2011.
Wow.
Yep. All right. Josh and Bo Naylor have homered in the same inning for the same team twice. Which two brothers were the last to achieve this before the Naylors, and for what team?
Oh, Lord. It's got to be the Molinas, right?
Not the Molinas. I don't think they were ever on the same team, were they?
No, you
The
might be
three of
right
them?
because they're all catchers.
So we have had these two brothers on a trivia question before.
Yeah.
They each hit their 100th career home run on the same day.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was. I remember the question now. Oh, Lord.
I'm out.
Yeah.
No,
Who is it?
Not the Boone brothers. That's a good
Oh,
guess.
Boone's is a good guess. Oh, the Uptons. Damn it.
Yeah, for the Braves in
Yeah.
2013.
I remember the question, but I could not for
I
the life
forgot
remember
they
who the
briefly
answer
played
was.
together.
Yeah, and they hit their 100th career home run on the same day. That's absolutely
Which
nuts.
is wild.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I forgot they overlap with the Braves too.
Yeah. Who hit the most home runs after they had turned 40 years old?
Nelson?
Just gonna say
No.
Nelson Cruz. Oh, Fisk?
Yeah, Carlton Fisk.
Wow.
72 after the age of
I always
40.
forget how long he played.
Which is crazy because that's also his jersey number on his pants.
That is weird.
72 after 40. All right. Who hit the most home runs in their final season in the MLB?
Poppy?
Yes, it was Poppy. Nice job, Harrison.
Nice.
38.
I remember people saying he shouldn't retire. He still got it. He's like, no, I'm done.
I'm
Yeah.
getting run out of the building here tonight.
David Ortiz. All right. Barry Bonds recorded 200 hits and 100 walks in a single season in 2004. Who achieved this the year before in 2003? Now, this one's purple, Harrison.
All right, this is actually purple. Good. Yeah, because sometimes the colors, like, they're not clear.
Todd Helton?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Todd Helton, 209 hits, 111 walks.
I mean, that's on base 320 times.
Yep.
In how many plate appearances? Like, that OBP had to have been ridiculously high.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Like, ridiculously high.
But he only got those hits because he played half his games at Coors Field. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes that ground ball through the hole roll a little faster.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Who was the last player to hit for a natural cycle? So that means single, double, triple, and home run in order.
Oh.
I'll give you a hint. He has made one of the best home run robbery catches I've ever seen for the Texas Rangers.
So not Canseco. Can cross him right off.
Yeah. He
Carlos Gomez?
No, that's a good guess, but
That's
not
a
him.
good guess.
He caught this ball like
I'm the king of good guesses tonight.
It happens to the best of us, man.
Wasn't David Murphy, was it?
Nope. He made this catch like spinning up the wall when he robbed the home run.
Oh, Gary Matthews.
Gary
Nice job,
Matthews
John.
Hell
Jr.
yeah, John.
Nice job,
Well
John.
done, dude. Gary Matthews.
Okay,
Jr.
I do remember that catch now.
That was it's like, how did he even catch that? Because like he like went up, spun like the opposite way, and somehow came down with it.
He didn't do it in the same game, right? That wasn't the
No.
same game.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, all right.
That was just my hint to give you.
Yeah. No, I got you. I got you.
Because otherwise than that, I don't have a hint for Gary Matthews Jr. Like
no, nor should
you.
Nor should you.
No offense against Gary
my hint
Matthews
would be he hit a natural cycle.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, pretty cool.
Kind of forgot about Gary Matthews Jr. Yeah.
All right. Who was the last team to go wire to wire and win the World Series in that year?
Oh, it's got one of those Yankees teams in the 90s, right?
No. Isn't it the 06 White Sox?
It's the White Sox in 05.
Oh, yes. That's right. The 05 White
05,
Sox.
Okay. Yeah.
That team was so good.
So good.
Yeah. What happened?
It'd be fun when they have the 20-year reunion next year and they're coming off historic season.
They're 1-161 next year. God, man, yeah, crazy. All right, this is the new segment. So you have to give me the highest career home run total by each letter.
Oh no!
So, for instance, A.
Are we doing the whole alphabet?
Oh yeah. Oh. I mean, some of them are pretty simple.
Forever.
No, we won't. For this one's pretty simple. Like, who's this? Who would this be?
Aaron.
Yes, Hank Aaron. 755. Who's this? Barry Bonds. Good.
Okay.
Oh, we count Barry Bonds?
Yes.
Just asking.
How about C?
Miguel Cabrera.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there you go.
Good. 511. D.
My brain wants to say DiMaggio.
No.
But he wasn't a big home run hitter. Oh, we had a good run. We got to D.
Blue Jays and Mets first baseman.
Oh, Carlos Delgado.
Yes.
Carlos Delgado. Yeah. Okay.
473. E. Carries a parrot on his shoulder going around the bases.
Encarnacion.
Oh, geez.
Yes. 424.
I forgot about the parrot.
Yeah. F.
I keep wanting to go with first name. I keep getting stuck on it.
Back in the 30s, Philadelphia A's, Boston Red Sox.
Oh, Jimmy Fox.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, double
Good.
X.
534. G.
Griffey.
Good. 630.
Glad I finally got one in there.
H. So two players are tied. They have the same last name.
Wow. I have no idea.
Philly's first baseman.
Oh, Howard.
Yes, it's
Ryan
Frank.
Oh.
It's Frank Howard and Ryan Howard, 382. Okay. I.
Raul Ibanez. I mean, like.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he laughs. He laughs about it with the right answer.
Yes, 305. Good. J.
Jones.
Nope. Mr. October.
Oh, Reggie Jackson.
Oh, Reggie Jackson. Yeah.
Yes, 563. K.
Kiner.
Nope. Twins.
Oh, Killebrew.
Killebrew.
Killebrew, 573.
Wrong K.
L. White Sox, Astros.
White Sox, Astros.
Yep. Started with the White Sox, went to the Astros. I think he had another team in there towards the end. Harrison, you texted me about this guy the other day.
Oh, of course I did.
Talking baseball put him on the Guess This Player.
Oh my goodness, who was it? Lee? Was it Carlos Lee?
Yes, Carlos really
Oh,
good. 358.
McGuire,
No,
Maris,
Chotto.
Mantle.
no. My favorite player, one of my favorite players of
Oh,
all time.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. That was so dumb. That was so dumb.
Oh,
dude.
Willie
That was
Mays,
so
of
dumb
course.
us. That was so dumb.
This
We're so dumb. We're so dumb.
I went right for the low hanging fruit. Didn't even
Oh,
think
so did
didn't
I.
even go back.
We're so dumb.
Yeah,
This one coming up might be the toughest one we got.
I can't wait to cut that one into a reel later.
And
Mike
Yes.
Napoli.
no, good guess.
I like it though.
No, that's not a good guess. Don't say good guess. That's horrible.
Hey, his last name starts with an N. It's a good guess.
I mean, if that's all it takes.
All right. This guy played from 67 to 88 for the Twins, the Indians, most of the time with the Yankees, like a big stretch with the Yankees. Padres, Braves, and Expos, played third base. This is a really tough one.
Oh, Craig Nettles.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Nice. 390. Good. Oh. Remember, his background's a clue. Y'all.
Oh.
Come on. Red Sox.
Oh, geez.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was,
541.
dude, it's too much. It's too rapid fire. I got a lot of things going in my brain.
Yeah, red. I immediately went to the Reds. I'm trying to think down to like the big red machine. I'm like, who was it?
No. Ortiz. All right. P.
Pujols.
Pujols. Yeah, 703. Q. White Sox.
Carlos
mostly.
Quentin.
Yes, Carlos Quentin. Good.
I was throwing that out just thinking it was completely wrong.
Well, you have like one of four guys in Major League history that start with a
Right.
Q, so
Fair.
that's him. Yeah, 154. It's obviously the lowest total on this list.
Yeah, it's a bit of an outlier letter.
Yep.
I can't get Mays, but I can get Carlos Quentin.
Yep, that's right. R.
A-Rod.
No.
There's an R with more.
Yeah, a lot more.
What are we missing?
We're so dumb tonight.
Seven-
This is not good.
714.
Oh, Ruth.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. He doesn't count. He wasn't real. Babe Ruth wasn't real. That doesn't
You said
count.
A-Rod, and I completely like.
Yeah,
I was like, we're done.
so did I.
Got
I mean,
this one.
dude, Babe Ruth doesn't count. Babe Ruth's not real.
Oh,
It
I'm
doesn't
like,
count.
wait, what?
All right. S.
Glad I wasn't alone on that one.
Oh,
S.
I'm afraid to guess now.
We got a few more. You got there. Come on. 2 homers this 2 years of 60 plus seasons for the Cubs.
Oh, Sosa.
Yes. 609. T. Mr. AL Central, Sean likes to call him.
Tommy.
Yep.
oh, Jim Tomey. He was Mr. AL Central.
Yeah.
He was. He played everywhere there.
Yep. U.
Oh God.
Just
Juan
had
Uribe.
Nope. Had him on a trivia question today.
What, today?
Yeah. It was with his brother.
Oh,
Oh,
Upton.
Upton. Which
Yeah.
one?
Justin.
Justin. Okay.
Yep.
325. That's a better number than I thought.
Yep. Upton. Okay. V.
John Valentin.
Nope. Padres all-time home run leader for a single season.
Oh, Greg Vaughn.
Yes, Greg Vaughn. Good. 355.
We didn't get that question right either. With the all-time
Yeah,
single season leader.
that's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
W.
Williams.
Yep. Ted Williams, 521. There's no X.
There's no X, of course.
Y.
Yes.
Yep. Carl Yastrzemski, 452. And then our last one, Z.
Z. Okay. I can't even think of the Z last name.
Carlos Zambrano.
That's exactly the only name that came to mind.
No, not him.
Mike Zanino.
No.
I don't have any Z names.
What position?
First base. Third base.
Zobrist.
No. Mr. National.
Oh, Zimmerman.
Oh, Zim.
Yeah, it's Ryan Zimmerman.
That was dumb. That was another dumb one from us, dude. That was hard going rapid fire through the alphabet like that. Like my brain
way harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, well, it's easy for me. I know all the answers. So.
Well, and for me, like the last name, I kept going to first names. I'm like, no, I gotta get the last name.
That was hard.
Boy.
Yeah. I mean, you guys did pretty well. So, yeah.
Yeah, Babe Ruth doesn't count. Thank you, John. Babe Ruth doesn't count. It's A-Rod.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks for bailing us out, John.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll add that comment also at the end of our reels to try to save our tails a little bit.
Yeah, that was way harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Well, you guys were going so quick at the beginning. I'm like, all right, they got this. And then like there's a couple.
We got to D and it all fell
out.
The wheels came off.
Yeah. For sure don't.
No.
But it is hard. All right. What's y'all's favorite team? So the three of us are all originally from New England. So it's the Red Sox for the three of us.
Yep.
But we love talking about all the teams around the league. Like I have a West Coast team that I follow. I am a huge Diamondbacks fan. And disclaimer, I started following them before they went on.
Oh, this is just poetic.
I'm not
poetic.
You froze at your disclaimer.
He's not a bandwagon and he freezes. Oh, it's perfect.
That was amazing.
Oh, did I freeze?
Perfect.
Nick, you went disclaimer and then we lost.
Right as you were trying to be like, I'm not a bandwagon jumper, and then it froze.
I'm not, because I started following them at the beginning of last season before they went on that run, and you can check the tapes.
No, I know.
Yeah. But no, I think for all of it, I think we're all originally Red Sox fans. We do follow several other teams. The Royals have been my team this year. I kind of pick a team each year and follow them. We're baseball junkies. We're baseball fans.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, John, Connecticut, nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, Sean, your second favorite team is the New York Mets, right?
New York Mets, baby. Yeah, nothing like heartbreak. Love it.
Yeah, nothing like being a Red Sox and Mets fan.
A Mets fan.
Yeah, can't get enough of that heartbreak.
You just hate yourself.
Yeah,
brutal.
Brutal. All right. I don't have anything else tonight. Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up or add to the show this evening?
John?
I know you do. I'm good.
I actually don't. It was a slow news week.
It was.
The question I wanted to ask you guys was the DeGrom one that I got in earlier. Just kind of curious how you would handle him. But otherwise, I mean, we're coming into what should be a really fun September of baseball. The races aren't as tight as we hoped they'd be this time of year, but there's still some stuff to watch.
Thanks for that comment, Josh. I'm not gonna post it, but thanks for that.
Legendary.
We appreciate it, but
yeah,
I think that's a compliment, right?
I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. Whatever.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say it's not. We'll take all the compliments.
But no, I'm good.
We don't get many.
I get nothing else to add. I think it's gonna be a good September here down the stretch. My thing that I'm hoping for the most is Mets are playing good baseball and winning games. Braves are playing good baseball and winning games. Cubs are playing good baseball and winning games. Like I hope we get into the middle and the end of September and it's just chaos to see who gets that third wildcard spot in the National League. That's what I want.
Yeah. All right. So off the cuff, World Series picks, go.
Like matchup or just the winner?
Matchup.
Oh Jesus.
Don't think about it. Just say it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Dodgers out of the National League. And I want to say the Yankees, but I just don't trust them. And Astros. I mean, how do you not say the Astros? Like, how do you not? I'm going to say Astros, Dodgers. Yuck. But that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. As it stands right now, I'd go Phillies Astros if I had to pick.
And I'm gonna hate watch the hell out of that series. I'm gonna hate watch it. But that's what I'm.
Oh my
that's
goodness,
what I'm
yes.
saying.
Yeah. You said what? You said Phillies Astros.
If I had to pick right now, I would go Phillies Astros. I think they're the two most bad. I don't trust the Yankees and Orioles yet. I really want the Orioles to be there. They were my pick in the spring, but I feel like with all the injuries, I have no idea what to expect from them. So I would go Phillies Astros.
Yeah,
it's the Astros until it's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, and this is gross for me too, Dodgers and AL's tough, man.
It is.
Orioles are still, I think, 1 year away. I'm gonna go with Yankees there, just to be a little different. And
all right,
those are the two worst teams I ever want to say out loud ever again.
I know you hate those teams.
And then the nightmare matchup for MLB would be Guardians Brewers, because you'd lose both coasts. Like there could not be a worse matchup for baseball.
As true as that is, I would absolutely love to see the Brewers absolutely get through postseason series. I would love to see it.
Oh, yeah. Just one. Just get through a postseason series.
You know what though? Screw that, man. Get all the way there.
Yep.
Just get all the way there. You're good enough to do it. They are good enough to do it. That team is so good.
Yeah, they are. And they're good, like you said, we never talk about them. Like they seem like
we don't talk about them nearly enough.
No, they're hidden up there in Milwaukee. Like you don't really tune in to see their games. Like they're not flashy, but man, they're solid.
So good.
Honestly, like if it was Guardians Brewers in the World Series, I would be popcorn popped on the couch, ready for first pitch. If it's Dodgers Yankees, I'll tune in the sixth inning. I would not be like that excited to tune in and watch that game.
You think of all the action that both of those teams provide with like small ball and got guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark and the pitching, like everything.
Every coach should watch that series to learn from it.
And just the story. I mean, you got two managers managing teams that took over good teams, but good managers and it's just there's big shoes to fill on both sides, and they both are able to find a way to make it to the World Series. That'd be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Sean. I think the
Mets
have a chance.
Absolutely, Mets
what do
have
you
a
think?
chance. I do too. I think the Mets have a chance, dude. Aside from that spurt in June when I came on here, and I was just the Mets aren't necessarily fun to watch, but they play good baseball. There was a week where they were just the worst fundamental team in baseball. Outside of that week, though, they don't really beat themselves. Right? They don't really beat themselves. So it's a team that, if they play well and they pitch good enough, I think they can score runs. And it's a team that you have to beat. They're not really going to beat themselves. And any team like that has a chance. I think they have a chance. Do I think they're going to do it? No. Would I bet on it? No. But they certainly have a chance.
Yeah, and I agree with the comment. Dodgers Yankees would be a classic. That would be a great series, and I would watch the hell out of it for sure. But I would be so much more pumped for smaller market teams to play better baseball to be in. But that would still be a great series. I can honestly say of the teams that are in the playoff race, there's no team I look at and go, geez, I really don't want to watch them play. There have been years where the Yankees won the East, and I did not want to watch them play. That was a boring team to watch.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in that category, because with the Dodgers, you get to watch Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani hit. And although, here's a question for you guys. I mean, I think everybody's in agreement that Ohtani should win the NL MVP. But did you realize that no DH has ever won the MVP? He would be the first DH to win the MVP.
I mean, it makes sense, but if he does get 50-50, it's a no-brainer.
Which is interesting because you look at the WAR right now, and Francisco Lindor has taken him over as arguably the most statistically valuable player because he plays premium defense at a premium position.
Right.
So Ohtani's fallen out of the WAR lead, but this will be the first time a DH has won the award, because generally DHs don't get consideration for MVP because they don't play both sides.
And Ketel Marte was right there too before his injury.
He fell off.
I mean, yeah. Well, he got hurt. He's been out the last 2 or 3 weeks, so that really hurts.
I said he was my pick, and like 2 nights later he got hurt, and I'm like,
Yeah.
perfect. It's like the jinx.
Yeah, I hate you for that. But anyways, like MLB definitely wants Dodgers, Yankees. I mean, just like you just said, the names. You got Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez.
The
On
two
the other
biggest
side,
media markets and all the star power. Yeah.
Right. Soto, Judge. Like, I mean, that's the matchup
Jazz.
MLB wants. Jazz. I mean,
yeah. MLB's dream matchup, Dodgers, Yankees. Our dream matchup, Guardians, Brewers. Yeah. But that would be MLB's nightmare matchup because nobody would watch on the coast.
I mean, I'm even if the Royals get there, dude, like I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Witt on that stage.
Bobby Witt would be
and
fantastic.
with the way that Seth Lugo's pitching, you have Cole Ragans, however you say his last name. Like they have some pitching
Seth Lugo.
That could fit in that postseason. Like you can go through a postseason with a 3-man rotation. And with the bullpen arms that they added, Urseg and Hunter Henry and all them like in the back end, the Royals pitching could possibly help carry them. Do I say all the way to the World Series? Probably not, but I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I would not hate it. I bet they've got to get healthy to get there. They can't limp in with subs playing premium positions.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. Favorite World Series matchup of all time?
Well, I'll have to do some thinking on this one.
Favorite matchup or favorite World Series that we've watched? Because I think for me, they might be different. Because my favorite matchup, I think, was a disappointment. But best World Series I watched was not one I thought I would enjoy.
What was your favorite matchup then?
So my favorite matchup was actually the Subway Series. I thought New York versus New York was really cool to have those two teams going at it. I don't think the series ended up being as good as I hoped it would be. But I thought that was a cool matchup, New York versus New York. I also really liked the, was it 07, the Sox and Rockies? Seeing the Rockies in there, I thought that was a good one.
I thought the Cardinals in 04 were going to give the Red Sox more of an issue. Didn't really. I mean, obviously 4-game sweep. That's a tough one off the top of my head.
It is. There's so many. I think the best World Series I ever watched was 01, when the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees. That was such a great series. Every game was a nail biter.
Yeah. For me, I think like my childhood when the Portland Sea Dogs came to Maine and became the Marlins affiliate, and then the Marlins made it in '97. Like that was really cool for me. That was it the Indians? I think they played that year in '97. Was it Indians and Marlins?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that one was
those poor '90s Indians.
Yeah. What was mentioned earlier, I think John might have said it, the 02 Angels and Giants series with Bonds and all
that. Was a really good one.
Yeah.
That was a good series.
I mean, that's like your quote unquote Subway series, but obviously it was like two teams really close to each other. But yeah, I mean, that's a great one. Man.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was actually a good one too was and I know the two I'm mentioning are two, but I thought the Royals and Mets in what was that 16, 15, 16?
16.
You know, you had the 16, you had the powerhouse of that Mets starting pitching that was just blowing everybody away in the postseason. And then you got this young kind of Royals team that just contacted everyone to death, and the Mets just couldn't deal with it. And that was disappointing, obviously, for me. But I thought I enjoyed watching that series as much as it sucked to watch the Mets lose.
The Cubs Indians series and 16 was a good one.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
So the Royals and Mets were 15.
15. Yeah.
Because the Cubs broke the curse in 16.
Right. 16. Yeah.
That was a really good series. That was a 7-game series, right? Yeah, 4-3.
Yep.
That was a really good matchup. Yeah. Man, I don't know.
I do remember one World Series that I thought was going to be a great matchup that ended up being a huge bust was the 98 Yankees versus the Padres. Like that Padres team seemed like they were loaded, and it really didn't end up being as great a series as I think anybody thought it would be.
Sweeps. Wow. That I'm looking at it right now, and you notice that 98 to 2000, the Yankees swept the Padres, swept the Braves, and it was 4-1 Mets. They only lost one World Series game in that 3-year stretch.
Yeah,
wow.
and then they lost in 0-1 in Game 7. They could have. I mean, they would have had 4 in a row.
Absolutely.
And that was after they'd won in 96.
Yeah.
To start the whole trend. I mean, they would have won 5 in 6 years.
Now, my first, like, when I was really getting into baseball, like I was 8 or 9 years old, was, and I might be showing my age a little bit, but was the Joe Carter walk-off against Mitch Williams.
That was cool.
And 93. I mean, that was when I was like, my 4th grade teacher was like a huge Blue Jays fan for whatever reason. And that's when I like really started tuning into baseball. And that was like my first taste of it. And I was like, all right, like I'm in, I'm hooked. So,
yeah, I mean, I think for me, Red Sox fan, 04 is always going to be,
it has to be
probably the most memorable World Series, because as a Red Sox fan, it took a long time to get there. Although the series itself wasn't great, it was amazing to finally see that team win.
Well, the ALCS was the World Series. Let's be honest. Like, that was the World Series.
The ALCS was the story.
I don't know. I thought the Cardinals could give them a little bit of a run.
I was afraid going into that series.
I don't know if I would say afraid, but I would say with the way that Cardinals team, you know, they were young in certain positions, they could hit. I thought it would be a series.
Yeah.
You know, and I with the Sox, with the big comeback and all that, kind of riding high, and with obviously the momentum, and they were just kind of playing with house money. I was confident in the Sox winning. I didn't think it would be just a 4-game domination.
Yeah.
No, I was afraid you'd have that letdown after that massive comeback. You'd have that big letdown, and they go to the World Series and fall flat, because that was their trend. You know, they'd get there and fall flat.
They had a good lineup. Their opening day lineup was Womack, Langford, Pujols, Edmonds, Roland, Renteria, Reggie Sanders, Mike Matheny, and then like Matt Morris.
That was a good team.
What, Adam Wainwright, was that his first year? Was that his rookie year? Second.
First
like he was really young. But his curveball was just as nasty back then too.
Oh,
gross.
But yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I could sit here and probably go down through all of them and be like, oh, that was a good matchup too. I love that.
It's the World Series. There's always some level of good to them, but they're the ones that like really stick out.
Yeah. But
I love it. We had nothing, but we had plenty of stuff coming at us from the chat. So thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, I think Chris Carpenter was on that roster.
Chris Carpenter, absolutely he was.
Pride of New Hampshire.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right. That was awesome. Thanks for throwing that in there, because we were, we had nothing else. We were about ready to end it, and you let us go on for another 15.
Always love that.
Yeah, you got 20 more minutes of us. Lucky you.
But thanks as always, fellas, in the chat, for keeping us on our toes and listening to the show. It really means a lot to us, and we love the back and forth. So keep coming back every Monday. We're here at 8 p.m. But before you go, please make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep commenting on our reels, share our reels. We appreciate the support. And again, we will be back on next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome.